Hello there. I'm Scotty. You're not. Welcome back to Birth Month 2026. Today we're looking at a movie I've been wanting to talk about. I bought this in a 3-pack a couple of years ago. Only reason why I bought it, the other two are Nickelodeon movies, but I only bought it for this one. Charlotte's Web. It's a movie I grew up with, watched a lot as a kid. Yeah, this movie does not mince words when it comes to what it does to pigs. Yep. No, I don't know. I don't think I'll need Wikipedia for long, but I'm gonna use it for a minute because this cast. So first of all, I'm watching this. I did not know this was a Hanna-Barbera production, produced by Joseph Barbera, William Hanna. Okay, Hanna-Barbera Productions, Sagittarius Productions, Paramount Pictures. Which is weird, because usually if it's Hanna-Barbera, it's Warner Brothers. But this is not Warner Brothers. This is Paramount, which is weird. Not only that, another weird thing, the music for this was done by the Sherman Brothers, who did Mary Poppins, Jungle Book, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. When you think of them, you think, and Ben Knobs and Broomsticks. Na, 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 na. When you think of them, you think Disney. But again, this is, Paramount and Hanna-Barbera, and this is one of those. This is one of the films not to be based on one of their famous television cartoons. The others being Chomps in 1973, whatever that is, Heidi's Song in 82, and another personal favorite of mine, Once Upon a Forest, which I also didn't realize was a Warner Brothers. But then we got the cast. The cast is a literal who's who of legends. Not just in voice acting, but in acting. We got Henry Gibson, Riley O'Reilly, that I know from Luck of the Irish, but you might know him from Rowan and Martin's Laugh-In, and many other things. Debbie Reynolds, the mother of one Carrie Fisher, and who I know as Grandma Aggie from the Halloween Town movies. She's in this. Paul Lynde, who's the only one whose voice I knew because he voiced my favorite character, Templeton the Rat. You may know him from the Paul Lynde Halloween special, or being the center square on Hollywood Squares, the classic version. Yes, Paul Lynde. Don Messick, the legendary voice of Scooby-Doo, plays various characters. I'm going through ones that I know of. Danny Bonaducci has a role as Avery. And I don't know any other names by name. But, yeah. So I should mention that Henry Gibson plays Wilbur. And Debbie Reynolds is Charlotte. Paul Lynde is Templeton. I said that. But, Don Messick is the Goose. That's where I recognize the voice. I'm like, that Goose sounds familiar. It's Don Messick. Yeah. Known for doing squeaky voices. Him and Dawes Butler did squeaky voices in Hanna-Barbera, so. Yeah. And you're going to hear voices and think, I've heard them before. One of the guys, I believe it's Rex Allen? No, it's John Stevenson, I think. It was the voice of the Creeper on Scooby-Doo. Is that him? The Hobbit. Sorry. The Hobbit. I'm thinking of Stranger Things again. It's from The Lord of the Rings. The Hobbit. The Hobbit. I think we're not there yet. Hold on. Yeah. Jekyll. Dr. Jekyll, the ghost of Mr. Hyde. Excuse me, not the Creeper. Dr. Jekyll, the ghost of Mr. Hyde. That's what he was the voice of. And you heard him, I know that voice. I've heard him in many Hanna-Barbera things, but yeah. And you know the story, that's why I'm not going to really need. It premiered at Radio City Music Hall. I'm not going to like this because it's a classic story. You know what it is? Wilbur is a pig. He's born the runt of the litter. An old farmer. What's its? I need the name. Old farmer had a dog. Arable wants to get rid of it. Zuckerman is the farmer that you're thinking of. You're like, that's not the name. But old farmer Arable wants to get rid of it, but his daughter Fern convinces to keep it until it gets bigger. 6 weeks later, it's only 6 weeks. He's the runt of the litter, so I guess with runts, you slaughter them and make them as... I'd imagine it wouldn't be the smaller ones that you would chop up for food, but... I know how animals work. You want the big ones, the fat ones, to sell off. But they allow her to keep her to raise as a pet. She names him Wilbur. Until 6 weeks later when he's gotten bigger, now that he's a spring pig, they sell him to Fern's uncle Homer. So imagine being related to this family, your brother-in-law, like, hey, I got a pig for you. Okay. You gotta pay me for him though. But we're family. I don't care. $50. This is 1973, you know. At the farm is where everything changes because he learns how to talk. We even have a song about it. Wilbur, I can talk. And this is where I'm like, okay. That's where my issues come in. The songs. Songs aren't bad. It's the Sherman Brothers. So they're very, very well written. They have a nice melody. But I've always said that musicals, the songs should move the musical along. Which, you know, with Sherman Brothers musicals, you don't get a lot from that. You know what I mean? Older stuff like this, maybe. Look at Mary Poppins. What songs move the story along? Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious, they're just standing around dancing. Chimney is the only one where they're actually moving around, right? And they're just going up the chimney. Well, Chimney, they're walking from one place to the house. Then they go up the chimney, and then they, in the smoke or whatever, step in time, they're just going nowhere. I love to laugh, they're floating on the ceiling, right? And then you go to Bread Knobs and Broomsticks. I'm going from the Sherman Brothers here that I know of. Bread Knobs and Broomsticks. You get, the only thing I can think of is, I guess you have some movement here with the Age of Not Believing. They are cleaning up the bed. Still trying to figure out why there's an apple core in the bed, you brats. With a Flare, which is not in the original version, but that's kind of just him standing around telling how he dupes people. Eglantine is just them singing and dancing in the library. Substitutionary Locomotion does move the plot because it's about them figuring out the spell. And I guess the song she sings when Professor Brown leaves helps her clean the table off. The musical version of Substitutionary Locomotion is played during the battle against the Nazis at the end. I will say that the old Home Guard song is played. They are moving. Call out the Navy, call out the ranks. They are moving when that goes, you know. Then you got the Jungle Book, which I'm going by with the ones they put on here. The Jungle Book, right? I guess they're moving down the stream. They're kind of just, they're getting food and the tree and the fruit and stuff, and they're going down the, you know. But then you have I Want to Be Like You. I guess he's trying to get the Secret of Man's Fire. Smokely does not know. Those aren't the only two songs in there. There's a song that the buzzards sing. The Beatles buzzards sing. Vultures? Buzzards? I can't think of any other song in that movie. But I love that movie. Like, Bare Necessities. Ooby doo. I want to be like you. Ooh, ooh. I really don't know any other songs in there. Was there one more movie that was on here that I can try to explain? Mary Poppins. Did I miss it? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang. If I've seen Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, it was a long, long time ago. I don't remember, but I don't know. All I know is Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, I love you. I have something like that. That's all I know. That's the only one I know. Hold on, I want to look at something quick. The songs. Oh, just to kind of go on it. E.B. White did not like this movie. He's the writer of the book. He did not like this movie. There must be something more. I can talk. Yeah, so like I said, it's supposed to move the story, but we spend, I don't know, 3 minutes or so about a song about the pig can talk. That's it. And a lot of them are just them sitting around. There's no movements. So I may need to consult for the words, but so after he's moved from the arable farm to the Zuckerman farm, he becomes in fear of being choppied up. He meets a duckling, also voiced by Don Messick, that kind of becomes his friend. I'll be your fan forever. And he's he also meets Charlotte, a spider, voiced by Debbie Reynolds, who wants to help Wilbur. She has to figure out a way. She decides the way to do this is to write words in the web. Now, I do like how they're kind of smart with this. So, the first thing she writes is some pig. Some pig. Somewhere. This is not a Blake Shelton song. Some pig. And I do like... I keep turning on, I'm sorry. I do like that... I thought I needed to look at it. I do like that someone calls it out. They're like, that means we have a special pig. Wait a minute. The spider wrote it. Doesn't that mean the spider is special? Nah, that's just a common gray spider. But the pig, that's some pig. And I'm like, okay, did you kind of call it out like, hey, the spider wrote it. What's the new special? They have someone mention it only for someone to go, phooey on the spider. Yeah, so this draws attention, but eventually that goes away. So she has to come up with another word. This isn't... Yeah, it's now she writes terrific, to which the stupid goose that always says her words wants TEERRIIF. Not, you want me to? That's not how it's spelled. They spell it right, terrific, and so it becomes a big sensation again, and everybody comes, but then Farmer Zuckerman still wants to slaughter Wilbur. And, so Templeton is then introduced. She has him go to look in the garbage, and he finds a couple other ones that don't work. He goes through a magazine clipping, and returns with the word radiant ripped from a soapbox to spin the web. So she spins the web radiant. Because of this, Homer decides to enter Wilbur in the county fair for the summer. And Charlotte, they both decide they're going to come with, even though Templeton doesn't want to do that shit. And Charlotte says that she's going to actually be making an egg sack for her babies. She's going to have babies. But she does decide to go with, and Templeton is forced to go with. I didn't know that. No. So, once there, Charlotte sends Templeton to run to the trash pile to receive another word, which she comes back with humble, which I guess means more than one thing. I don't. And Charlotte has made an egg sack, but she's very tired. And Humble is spun into the web. There's another pig there, though, named Uncle. And this is bullshit. So he's there, and they're like, oh, he ain't nothing. We need a word that makes Wilbur better, so Humble. But Uncle still wins the prize. But the county fair still decides to hold a celebration in honor of Wilbur because he's some pig. He's humble. Yeah. And they reward him $25. Oh, $25. Maybe in 1973 that meant more. I don't know. An engraved bronze medal. And Farmer Zuckerman decides, hey, pig, I'm not going to kill you and eat you for ham. No. You're going to live to a ripe old age. So, yeah. Then we get to the sad parts. I don't need 514. That's all I need to remember. All right. Afterwards, he's so excited, but Charlotte is not so much. She says that, all that I did, and then I had to met those babies. I'm tired. I'm dying. And I'm not going to be around anymore. Wilbur decides he's going to take care of the egg sack and take it back to the farm with him. And Charlotte's going to stay behind and die. So he takes it back and he watches that egg sack all through the winter. Somehow able to keep it safe in the winter at a farm. It makes no sense. But, what do they do with animals in the winter of the farm? And then the spring comes. And 514 babies are born, but most of them leave except for 3. I actually need to look again. Sorry, I know it's kind of frustrating because of my eyes, but guards the egg sack for the winter. Next spring, Charlotte's 514 children, I read that wrong, hatch but fly away. Wilbur is sad, and he wants to run away. But before he can do that, a ram, points out that the 3 of them had stayed. So now he has new friends, and Wilbur names 2 of them Joy and Nellie, and tells the third one that Charlotte's middle initial was A, and the third spider names herself Ariana. Arania? The voiceover narrator explains that Wilbur loves her children dearly. He's still gonna miss Charlotte very much. And that's how the movie ends. It was always a sad ending, right? It also makes you realize that Templeton is a little asshole. That's probably why he's my favorite character, though. He's just like... I did skip over a moment I'm going to talk about now. So, he is coerced into going to the fair with the promise of leftover garbage foods after everyone leaves. So, the fair is a variable smorgasbord. Then the song he sings, after he brings the thing in the soapbox, he goes off gallivanting for food, comes back sounding drunk, all full of the food. He gets to do that, and I remember that's my favorite part of the movie. A fair is a variable smorgasbord. What's the name of that song? Because I want to look that up and listen to it after this. Look at the soundtrack. Songs. Mother Earth and Variable Smorgasbord. Agnes Moorehead and Paul Lynn. Huh? Agnes. What? It's just Templeton. Who's Agnes? The goose. The goose sings too? I did not know that. There is a variable smorgasbord. I love that song. It's the one I remember from this. His little, I gotta go eat all the trash that's left behind. You know? And if you did a better job of eating all that shit, Templeton, then my janitorial group wouldn't have to come and pick up after it. Well, I know you can't eat the wrappers, but still. But yeah, I'll give it a pretty good. All around, I enjoyed it. Yeah. Oh. You know, it's kind of fitting that this was a Hanna-Barbera film. Had I known that, I could have spun that around. Because coming up soon, starting tomorrow, we are doing Flintstones Jetsons Week. That's right. But it's only 5 days because I only have 5 movies. And we're starting with a revisited review of the 1994 live-action live-action film starring John Goodman, The Flintstones. And we're following it up with the prequel, not starring John Goodman, called The Flintstones of New Rock Vegas, followed by one of my personal favorite animated films, animated Hanna-Barbera Flintstone films, A Man Called Flintstone, or The Man Called Flintstone. I'm not sure which one it is. Then we're going to take a look at Jetsons, the movie, which I swear I already reviewed years ago, but I can't find it in the thing, so I seem to think I deleted my original review, and I don't know why. And then we'll end it with the Jetsons meet the Flintstones. Yes. That's Flintstones Jetsons week. So, yes. And it's a whole week of animated films, so yay for me. Well, no, 2 of them are not animated. They're live action, so that helps. But, yeah. And actually, I'll point this out here. Flintstones of Viva Rock Vegas was Ross Vegas. Viva Rock Vegas was originally supposed to be in Universal. I don't have a definitive list for that yet because I keep writing it down and I keep changing things. But I'll get it eventually. I still have a bit of time yet before I need to start recording that. Probably not till May, right? Yeah. Though I'm going on vacation in June. We're going somewhere up north. As of right now, we are. So, anyway, what are your thoughts on Charlotte's Web? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you for like, share, and subscribe. And I will leave with this joke from a comedy special. Oh, what a tangled web we weave. But Charlotte dies and Wilbert lives in the end. Was that a Frank Caliendo joke that he did as George W. Bush, I think? I don't know. I just wanted to put that in here. Thank you for watching. I'm Scotty, and I'll see you in the next one.